My dream is really the liberation of animals and children and people in general. I would love a world where like kids uh, and animals have a lot more rights than they do now. Like, I mean, you can still circumcise your son in certain countries, and you can have your pet euthanized, or not euthanized, but it's like I wanted to find the PC word for castrated, but I can't think of it. Neutered. That's it. uh, but yeah, I mean, Chinese emperors used to do that to and I mean, not just them. A lot of, I think Italians did it. A lot of people it seems had eunuchs, and so in their cultures. So men's rights in that sense has progressed, but I think the sensibility of or the level of empathy that I would love to see in the world before I die is like one that starts to or already considers animals as sentient, like beings we know are sentient, just like treats them accordingly. That's part of why I feel anxious. I don't think it's a realistic desire based on current trends, and I don't want to use the word genetics. The fact that creatures have tendencies and human beings are not good, not bad, just just have certain tendencies, and it doesn't make sense to be upset at the manifestation of those tendencies, like the desire to lie to ourselves in groups. Like people can convince themselves of things in groups that they could never believe in person, except the actual crazy prophets who perpetuate religions would actually come up with a religion on their own. But then if it's done in a communal level, they'll die for that religion before the prophet themselves ever do. So yeah, it's one of those things where when you're the kind of person who likes to who strives for like moral and ethical and like consistency with your actions, the world is like a very tough place, because a lot of times I think we have to do things that conflict with our inner compass, while other times actually other people do things and we have to get along to go along to get along. Like other people do things, like our family or friends or the general public, and just despicable in the eyes of someone who's more aware. I've seen a pregnant woman drinking, buying from the liquor store and smoking on her way in, drinking on the way out. I've seen parents like arguing in front of their kids in the most vitriolic way. And when I say kids, I'm talking like 2-year old, like just wide-eyed, like taking in this, like what's going on. And I'm like, oh yeah, this looks like a regular sight for them. I've had people seen people choke their dogs near to death because they ate food that was lying around that it shouldn't have, or something like that. People can also be really kind, but I don't think that excuses the behavior when we aren't reasonable. Take responsibility, be consistent. And I think I wouldn't ever see a world where every things society is fair and communities are fair, because I don't think by nature our race is predisposed to be peaceful and all that, and it would take a lot of energy to change that. It's like fighting against the tide. So I think the most important thing, and I hope this isn't me trying to cope, or yeah, I don't know, but like I feel like the most rational thing is to take care of myself, people I care about, and just focus on that and try to make that the focus so that I don't get anxious about things. And obviously the things that I think are outside my control, but then at the same time I'm like, why the fuck do I think that, when we know throughout history that a lot of times all it takes is a handful of people to start a revolution. Yeah, free the animals. I always feel like that's a lofty goal on one hand, but at the same time, I want to have faith in people's ability to change and grow beyond our most ingrained basic nature. I think that is our superpower, and that's why a lot of things that we used to think were okay, child marriages, spousal rape, slavery, this just absurd things, sacrifice, human sacrifice. We don't accept those anymore. It's like, okay, but we still accept a lot of things, so it's okay. There's no consistency in a lot of logic, so it's really confusing and kind of frustrating situation. But accept that I probably won't change it, and at the same time, we'll still try to do that to uh, to soothe my anxiety, because through doing, it's like a thing I used to do when I sprinted is if I felt a frown on my face, I would start to try to use my body to frown instead, and that really helped give me an extra boost up the hill. So that's what I'll do to channel my anxiety, and hope I ranted long enough in this. See you in the next one. Bye.